can say 1 meter over 100 centimeters or 100 centimeters over 1 meter. And it'll depend on which one based on a previous step in the problem. And the conversion factors do not affect significant figures. So here's a problem here, and it's not a very difficult problem per se, but you also want to look at it and see if there's anything you can learn about it before doing any of the calculations. So a bottle of aspirin tablets contains 0.716 pounds of aspirin. How many grams of aspirin is that? So you could do the 453.6 grams over 1 pound and multiply by the pounds to give you the answer. But before doing that, I would say, okay, how many significant figures should the answer have?
4.
3.
3.
3. Okay.
So 1 pound is
Because of the decimal
exact, the 453.6 is not exact, that's
Okay.
4. But the 0.716 here is 3. And so it's the lowest number there. So your answer should have 3 significant figures.
325.
So that rules out A and B automatically. What are the units the answer should have?
Grams.
So that rules out D. And so that gives you
Okay.
C.
Wow.
Now, I can tell you on an exam, you're not, if multiple choice, it's not going to be something as simple as ruling out 3 answers right away. But very often you can rule out 1 or 2.
Good.
So let's say, even though you know how to do this, let's say you're in a situation, taking an exam, and you're extremely nervous. You're going through some anxiety, maybe some things happen in the home, and you're stressed out. Maybe you completely forgot how to do this calculation. If you could roll out 1 or 2 answers, it's better to guess out of 2 than guess out of 4. So if you have to guess, if you can roll something out, then great. If not, then sorry about your luck. But also another important thing to realize is that while we're covering 2 or 3 chapters on each exam, there's a lot of similar content in these chapters. So there's a good possibility that the answer to one question might trigger your memory to remember how to do an answer to another question. So too many students seem to feel obligated to do the questions in order, and there's really no reason why it should be required or you feel even obligated to do it in order. I would always read through things, everything, see what you can do. See if the questions are weighted equally, see if they're not weighted equally. If they're not weighted equally, if you have a question that's 20 points versus a question that's 5 points, if you're not going to finish, it's better to miss the 5-point question than the 20-point question. So you want to, I think of a good analogy is when you're taking an exam, think of your time as like a savings account. So if you're able to go through and answer some questions really quickly, let's say you have an average of like 3 minutes per question or 4 minutes per question. But if you see a couple of questions that you absolutely know the answer right away, then you could save some of that time for other questions that are going to be harder, and you can bank the time. And if you were going in order and you struggled on the first or second question, then you're going to have a negative balance in time, and you're